we are, baby. That is cool.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. Welcome to another edition of the Midwest Music Hour. I'm your host, Scott Kirby. You are now in the Bertsch Barn. Another, episode here, live from the Bertsch Barn. Rocking out tonight with Caleb Delaney of the band Indigibliss. Mm-hmm. Incredible to have you here, man. I'm so stoked. I'm so glad that we got you in the Bertsch Barn tonight.
I am so stoked to be here. I think literally anyone would become immediately stoked to be here. You have an amazing thing going on, and so cool. Thank you. So cool. So thank you very much for having me, Scott.
Oh, absolutely. We've got all sorts of stuff to, catch up on, really. You want to maybe bust into a song first and come back to it? We'll talk about the song.
You're the man. I'll do that for you.
Cool, man. What's the first one called?
This one is called Melancholy Molly. If you did listen to Indigibliss, you definitely heard this one. I play in kind of a little bit heavier band now, so I don't play things like this anymore, so we're going to take a trip back to the Indigibliss days with Melancholy Molly.
Sweet.
Girl, I think I know why you cry yourself to sleep at night, looking for the answer without any light. Well, maybe if you learn to walk my way, you could see things the way I. Melancholy Molly in your shade of blue. Ba-da-ba-ba, yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba, yeah. Melancholy Molly. Oh. What am I to do? Girl, I think I know why you cry yourself to sleep at night, looking for the answer without any light. Well, maybe if you learn to walk my way, you could see things the way I. Melancholy Molly in your shade of blue. Ba-dum-ba-ba, yeah. Ba-dum-ba-ba, yeah. Melancholy Molly, what am I to do? Ba-da-ya-ba, yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba, oh, Melancholy Molly. What am I to do? Uh-oh. Every time I come into this place, I see that light shine upon your face, and I know my time is up. Every time I come into this place, I see that light upon your face, and I know my time is up. Oh, but then I get up on that stage, I flip into a rage, and baby girl, I scream your name. It goes something like this, darling. Molly, Melancholy Molly, what am I to do? Ba-dum-ba-ba, yeah. Ba-dum-ba-ba, yeah. Melancholy Molly in your shade of blue. Oh, oh, oh. Ba-da-ba-ba, yeah. Melancholy Molly. Woo! I don't know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do with you. Oh, oh.
Melancholy Molly. Wicked.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Groovy tune.
Cheers. Thanks, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, I wrote that about a girl who was not named Molly, but that was her nickname. She was quite lukewarm.
Right on.
So.
And when you got that, when you go to write a song like that, do all those parts come into your head as you're, doing the lyrics and the words?
Usually,
You get the vibe going right away, or is that something that, kind of changes as you hook up with your other musicians and work on the arrangement in that regard?
I think both. This one, I just learned jazz chords and like different formations of jazz chords and stuff. So I was just feeling really inspired by that, and I wrote the chord progression, and then I got drunk, and then I thought about this girl, and then I don't know, the melody. Yeah, it's so pretentious to say this, unbelievably pretentious to say this, but I've always thought that it's just sometimes that it chooses me to come and like, it's like I don't think of it. I can't say I thought of it. You know what I mean? Because I can't just think of it.
You feel like you're a conduit to a greater.
Yeah. Well, because if you told me, hey, think of a song like that right now, I couldn't do it. But in that moment of like helplessness, I suppose, that's what I kind of feel like it is. It's like when you feel really helpless, that's whenever it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. You are helpless, bro. Here's a little gift. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And so that's how that one came about. I guess all my lyrics kind of come that way, but musically, which is different, as you know, like it's a totally different type of thing. That a lot of that I feel limited in. So that's when I take that to a band, and I usually let, like in Indigibliss, I just be like, okay, guys, here's this little thing I wrote, make it amazing. Do whatever, tell me what I got to do even, you know what I mean, to play better, because I don't understand I do now because of what I lacked back then, but I didn't understand theory and all that, I just knew emotions, and for some reason, like, that's how I wrote songs, and without really fully understanding what I was doing. But Orlando was a genius, still is a genius. He's still with us, so he's a genius. Saying Eric, everybody knows Eric. I don't even need to say anything about. He's like the maddest man alive, So I was just very blessed in that regard. But getting that experience changes how you write songs in the future. Getting to work with people like that, so the way I write now is different because of the people that I have worked with, but I still mostly write on my own. So, yeah.
And you bring it up to Eric. So he's got a couple different projects that he's involved in. That, as most musicians do, have multiple projects and people that they collaborate with. Do you find that that is makes your group stronger, or do you sometimes you maybe don't have the opportunity to get together as a band because maybe he's off feeding the dog
That's
or
a good question.
whatnot,
He feeds the dog a lot, that's for sure.
That dog's hungry.
Yeah, man. A lot of people have asked me that, and I honestly am so happy for him because I made decisions in my life that deprioritized our band. I didn't ever like quit or anything like that, but Eric's incredible, and I was like keeping him on a shelf away from other people, and he told me, hey, I'm going to do some other bands and stuff. I was like, I fully support that because you're a true, I never felt like a true musician. I know I was always like, I'm just a guy who's loud about his emotions. I never ever considered myself like a real musician.
Kind of that imposter syndrome, they call it, like that.
100%. And I still have that. I feel like here today, like I just feel like I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? But with Eric, he is a master. He's just it's if you cut him, he's gonna bleed a beat. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, it's just because that's just what he is, man. And everybody knows it. As soon as you see him play drums, it's just like, oh, you are a drummer. You know what I mean? And so I wanted him to, and he gets money, man. He makes more money than me, and I worked my butt off. You know what I mean? So it's great. It's great for him, and we're still really tight friends, and I think he may be watching right now. I'm not sure, but it definitely it definitely made Indigibliss practice and playing a lot more spaced out, sometimes by years. But we always will be a band. We're brothers. We went through way too much stuff to ever like say that it's over. And we still have an album yet to come out that we spent $4,000 on, you know, so that's gonna come out. If I gotta go to somebody's house and steal a hard drive, I will.
Yeah.
But so yeah, apologies to anyone that is still waiting on that from the Kickstarter. Either you're gonna get a CD or you're gonna get a date with Eric. One of the two. We'll figure it out. But
That's a high dollar item.
yeah, it's a high dollar item. That is.
Oh man, but you know, so everybody's on their own musical path, you know, and sometimes it's a destination that you never reach because how do you get perfect, you know, and how do you achieve exactly all the time those notes that you intend to play? You know, I mean, there's always going to be that strive for improvement musically, but in terms of investment of oneself and emotion and going in 100%, like that's, you know, that's why you're there with those guys like Eric. You know, if you doubt anything there, like you can't trade emotion and passion and having somebody's whole like soul into what they're doing.
I appreciate that,
You know,
and there were moments where I understood that, but it's such an inconsistent thing. You know, like oftentimes I would fail at it because I just had a messed up day and I couldn't just be that thing that wrote the song. You know what I mean? But they could always deliver because they were like, it was an actual thing they were doing. You know, like we did this. It's like muscle memory, but like emotion is a very finicky thing. And so I would often feel like I didn't do my part, you know, because, you know, but at the same time, they always said great job and kept practicing with me and playing shows. So, you know, it was not a bit too bad. But
you're always your own worst critic, right? You know,
absolutely,
always
yeah.
our hardest on ourselves. And
100%, yeah.
I mean, sometimes we deserve it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
But,
and that's
you know.
98% of the time, 99.8 for me. But maybe sometimes I can give myself a break. But, yeah.
Who were you inspired by when you know, to pick up the guitar? Like what sparked that interest from an early age or
My dad.
Your dad.
Not no music genre or anything like that. I just knew that my dad had played guitar. He passed away when I was 5, you know. So I had this like thing in my mind. I wasn't like, oh, I really want to play guitar, but when I ultimately did, it was just like, honestly, man, like my life was in a really crazy spot. I was 10. So it was nothing of my own doing, or 11 or whatever I was. But I was just in a very tumultuous, I think giving too much detail would be weird, but like all of a sudden there was this commercial for a cheap acoustic Spencer guitars. Look them up, $80, and you can have their top model. But I was just like, I think I need to get that. I think I need that in my life right now. And then I brought it home, and on the way home, I'd heard like an Eric Clapton song, and I sat on the couch and I just played it, and I was like, I don't know how to play guitar, but I'm playing this thing. You know what I mean? And I wasn't like doing a solo. I was doing Sunshine of Your Love. You know, that little cool little riff. You know, it's not hard, but I was like, I can figure this out. You know, and there wasn't anything else in life that I'd ever been like, oh, if I do this, I'll figure it out. But this, I knew I would. You know, and it gives, and that's what I think is awesome for people to learn music. I give guitar lessons, by the way. I think it's awesome for people to learn music because it's something that you can do. And then once you do it, you realize, oh, a lot of other things that I thought I couldn't do, maybe I can do. You know what I mean? And so I've done a lot of weird stuff in my life because of that I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't have that moment. But as far as musical inspiration, like something that, like I thought everybody wrote songs, honestly. I didn't have anybody that ever even talked about music around me, and I was writing songs in my room. And then this drummer guy moved in next door to me, and he was like, hey, I got a drum set in my attic, like let's play this stuff, dude, let's go play it. I had never thought of that, of like playing with other people or anything like that. You know, it's so weird how life happens. But then, I figured out that not everybody writes songs, so they'll pay to come see you write songs. You know, and then it's a funny story. I was the first busker in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That, as far as I know, there was first of all, alcohol is illegal, and well, that's a strong term, but it's a dry county, so you can't sell alcohol unless you have like a high dollar license. It's changed now since then, but back then, like, there was one place in town that was like a club. Okay, so what I would do, people would be lined up out the door for hours from this place. So I would stand across the street with my guitar, and I just play whatever stupid bull crap. You know what I mean? And then occasionally people come over and drop money in the thing, and then I go down the street and buy a sub. You know, and I feel real victorious. You know what I mean? And one day this guy came up to me and he's like, "Why are you doing this? What are you doing? Like, why are you out here playing this guitar?" I was like, "Oh man, just trying to make some lunch money," you know. And he kind of chuckled. Then he went off. Years went by. I moved away. I'm up here playing music, and my friend calls me from Arkansas, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna send you this newspaper article. You are not gonna believe this." Okay. So he sends me like a couple pictures of this newspaper article, and ultimately I actually got the real paper. This guy starts a charity foundation, okay, for people to learn how to play music. He's like a millionaire or something, maybe billionaire. I don't know, but it was a wealthy dude, okay. And they were like, "Why did you start this?" And he said, "Because I walked up to this guy playing guitar on the street, and he said he was just trying to make some lunch money."
Oh, no way.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah.
So insane. Just a random story, but so crazy, man. So that's
Wow.
like, those kind of things like validate you as in what you're doing, you know. So I'm like, I should keep playing music. You know, I've had a lot of things like that in my life where almost quit, but then it's like, oh wait, this it. Like, I wish 20-year-olds could understand, like, the time you put in then, that's your time, bro. That's your time to define yourself. Because after that, I'm turning 30 tomorrow, man. I'm thinking about this stuff a lot, you know. And once you put that time in, you've chosen. If it's meth, that's what you've chosen. If it's stocks, hey, that's what you've chosen. Great job. You're going to have an attractive wife. But you can choose the wrong thing, man. So I got to the point where I was like, oh, should I start doing other things? I was like, well, you know, you can make money doing this. You can't be Bill Gates, but you can make money doing this. And if you're willing to be okay with not having Microsoft money, you can be happy, you know? And so that was kind of a decision I made, and I was playing a lot, but then the freaking P word happened, man. Oh, dude. Ruined everything. I had a lot of stuff going on, man, and then the pandemic happened, and I wasn't even worried about that stuff because I thought we were all going to die. I don't know about everybody else, but I thought we were doomed. I've been waiting for something like that to happen, but then now we're not doomed as much. Still doomed.
We persist.
Not as much, but there's still barely any gigs, and I don't know. It's tough to like reinvest in that again because it feels like it could happen again. You know, like I didn't know everything could just turn off. I didn't know the NBA could be like, nah. But it makes sense, you know. It happened in Space Jam.
Yeah, I think
must be real.
you know, like I heard Tom Jordan say something about it, thinking that he would be, you know, he was going to be the guy to decide, like, you know, we're all in control of our own destiny or whatever. He would be making the choice to like take a break, or like if he wanted to, you know, not tour for a bit or whatever like that. And instead of like you're saying, what happened is that kind of choice was taken away because
because
you don't make the game, you don't make the rules.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm thankful that, look where I am right now. This is incredible. This is the best thing I could possibly be doing at this moment in my life.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? But it could have been like Black Plague, like people getting wheelbarrowed out of houses and burned in pits and stuff, you know. So I'm thankful that some things persisted, you know. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about life, despite the things that happen in life.
Absolutely. We keep on pressing on. We keep on the sunny side, yeah?
Yeah, man. By the way, everybody, Scott Kirby absolutely murdered Beefarama a week ago and made some of the most tasty cow jokes you're going to hear in your lifetime.
Yeah. That was pretty wild.
Dude. Oh my gosh, it was
The
fun,
spirit
man.
of the beef cow.
Yeah. I do wonder if that cow I hit ultimately maybe got served that day. He didn't die when I hit him, but he was at a cow farm, and ultimately that's what happens to him. So it wasn't by my hand, but he still could have ate him. It's possible.
Oh my, it's delicious. It's tasty.
That one would have been a little more tender.
Yeah.
On the hindquarters than the other ones.
Well, hey, speaking of happiness and
Yeah.
feelings of said happiness,
Okay.
is there a lighthearted musical composition in your repertoire?
That's a funny question, man. I don't think so. I probably have like 400 songs I've written, and one of them I think might have been happy. Let me see here. I mean, a lot of them sound happy. That was kind of the thing with Indigibalist, was like write the music to sound as happy as possible to counterbalance what I write about. But I have written happy songs that I'm like, this sounds fake. Everybody's gonna know this is fake. I'm not gonna be able to sing this with any conviction at all.
Ooh, and how do we, I mean, that's an interesting thing. You know, things are neither happy nor sad. They're neither good nor bad. They just are what they are, you know, and you
Truth.
take from it what you take from it.
Truth.
So how would you even define, like, does that mean that it's upbeat? Does that mean that it's like got major chords as opposed to minor chords, or, you know?
Yeah, so for me, like, whatever the lyrical content is actually what the song's about. Everything else kind of tricks you. Like, everything else is like an artistic trick. You know what I mean? Like, however you want to delay the message from the lyrics with, like, craziness, however, which is, you know, whatever. But for me, whatever the lyrical content is what the song's about. You know, like, not, like, so.
Like the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and the crowd goes wild, and you're like, come on, people died.
Exactly. And yeah, man. And like Johnny Cash singing Hurt. You know, he probably played that live and got 10,000 people cheering for him. You know what I mean? But that's because it's relevant. That's the thing that you have to realize as an artist, is people are reacting to the relevance of what you're doing, not even like how good you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, i.e. Nirvana, you know, like they could have played way tighter than they played, but they realized it was irrelevant. It doesn't matter, as long as these lyrics hit and these beats smash, dude. We're getting it. You know, these people are reacting to this because that was the mood. It's still the mood. You know what I mean? It was a mood that hadn't been defined yet. Most of them have now. You know, most of, that's honestly what I think is like. Art is like some new mood or new thing being defined. Then there's like Walmart art, where it's like doing something that sounds like the original, like Bach. You know what I mean? Or whatever, or however this metaphor should have played out better, it did in my head. But basically, I think that,
I get what you're saying, though.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't think that I'm that, but I want to be. You know what I mean? That's my goal. And unfortunately, John Mayer said it best. You're going to play what you think is cool. And you can only think what's cool that you've heard before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, truly revolutionary people almost have to be insane and be hearing stuff. You know what I mean?
Literally, yeah, right.
Yeah. And like, I hear voices, but they don't sing to me. So I got nothing in that.
Well, and, you know, I mean, I go back to like, like Harlem Nocturne, a Duke Ellington thing, or something like some of those jazz compositions that try to, and for a lot of intents and, you know, for all intents and purposes, they succeed at like being a musical representation of what the sound of the street and city life might be, you know, the embodiment of that.
Absolutely.
How do we musically make the sound of a bird in the tree and the train passing by, and
Yes.
the guy in the corner shouting about newspapers or whatever, that type of thing.
Absolutely.
So that's a whole nother.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many routes. Like there are people that write music basically based off their understanding of music. You know what I mean? Like it's like I understand. Like Orlando was really clinical that way, where he's like, okay, we've got this. We've been doing intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, solo, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro. Too much. Okay, so what we need to do is like cut this in half, move it here. And it's not like he's hearing it. He's making a decision based off an equation. You know what I mean?
Formula.
Yeah, formulaic, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. And that is foreign to me. It was foreign to me. Now I do it, but at the time I had never considered that. I was like, I need to be able to like get enough air to yell again. That was like all it was. That was all it was for me. And like, I need to figure out how I can stand to look optimally cool, while I yell. And Eric and Orlando will do the work. And that's how it went. And we were Lamus. Locally famous.
Yeah. Well, that's that's pretty cool.
It's an achievement. It's an achievement.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
And
I
like
crowd
you're
surfed
saying-
one time. That's a big deal, man.
Really?
400 block, bro.
Whoa.
We were the closing band, and all the bands that had played before were awesome, so everybody was jacked up. And other people started crowd surfing while we were playing, and I'm so stupid. I was like, do you guys like care if I crowd surf too? They were like, come on, man, come on.
Asked for permission.
Yeah, I did. I asked for permission, and this is all thanks to Jason Sikora, by the way. He's the guy that got all these things in motion. But Eric and Orlando just played some crazy beat, and I think he was playing the didgeridoo, and I just jumped out and surfed a bit. I gotta say, man, if you do that once and then like go to the back of the crowd and do it again, you are masochistic. Like something is different about you, because it's not the most pleasurable experience, I gotta say. Especially when there's just things that are sensitive on your body.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to say any more than that. But yeah, it was a good time. So yeah.
That's so cool. What song were you playing when you went and crowd surfed?
Mama Told Me. That's the song we played before, because people crowd surfed during it, and then I was like, this is happening. I'm going to try to get in on this, And then they just played, like, the didgeridoo is tuned to B flat, so Orlando would just start rocking something in B flat, and Eric would just, and then like be playing the snare and the kick and the hi-hat, and it'd be all nuts. Everybody loved that most. If Eric could have done that for an hour straight, and I could have stood there and drank beer and like made jokes, we would have been #1 in Wisconsin, dude.
Nice.
But unfortunately, unless you can really circular breathe, the didgeridoo is actually pretty difficult to play for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
People didn't get that. They would just come up to Eric and be like, somebody that hadn't been at the beginning of the show when he did it would come in and be like, oh, do it again. And he'd be like, okay. He had to like prep himself like an athlete.
Right? Man, and being a drummer is already like
Oh,
quite
yeah.
athletic as it is.
Oh, yeah. And he's a hi-hat guy. He's always working the hi-hat.
Yeah.
And that's just constant motion. But, he did it. But yeah, so the song that we played that I feel like was most responsible, though, for the crowd surfing was Mama Told Me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you like to get into another song?
Sure. Yeah. I don't have a happy one. Well,
That's all right.
I have a hopeful one. How about we do a hopeful one, Scott?
Hopeful sounds perfect.
Okay. The other day I was playing Marshfield Plaza, and I went to play this song. And I was like, everybody ready for a political song? It was great. I was like, don't worry, it's not like that. But so that's what this is. You may sympathize with the point, especially if you're in your early 20s, like I was at one point in my life. The song's called Suits.
I often ask myself if I made the right choice, but I can't hear the answer over all the noise. Peace be compromised. Too many beginnings and no finish lines. Why do I find myself rolling my eyes, wasting time? But there's something in my chest that won't settle for less. All the time that we have wasted, listening to the people wearing suits, can't compare to what's created when we ditch the lies for the truth. Too many beginnings, no finish lines. Why do I find myself rolling my eyes, wasting time? Too many beginnings, no finish lines. Why do I find myself rolling my eyes, wasting time? Well, there's something in my head that keeps me on my toes all the time that we have wasted, listening to the people wearing suits. Can't compare to what's created when we ditch the lies for the truth. Something in my chest that won't settle for less. There's something in my head that keeps me on my toes all the time that we have wasted, listening to the people wearing suits. Can't compare to what's created when we ditch the lies for the truth. All the time that we have wasted, listening to the people wearing suits. Can't compare to what's created when we ditch the lies for the truth.
Sweet tune. Overtly political. I don't know if it's overtly political.
No, man. I don't think so. I thought it was when I wrote it, but looking back, it's not so bad. Yeah, man. So that song's less political than I thought, but I still enjoy it.
No, it's pretty sweet. How many? Do you have a number? How many compositions are you at?
Total?
Yeah. You know, you get to Christopher Gold status, you get to come out with a book.
Bro,
You need like 100.
Oh, Scott, I guarantee you if I...
250?
Man, probably at least that.
And then...
Because the thing is every band I've ever been in completely ditched everything rewrote 20, 30 new songs. You know what I mean? Every band. I don't recycle songs because it just doesn't work. Because so much depends on the bass and the drums, you know? And I'm always in a different mood. And so I've been in a lot of bands, you know, through my day. And I'm always the guy that writes the songs. So I put the work in. And, dude, I don't remember 90% of them. Like, I could, but I don't. And I don't want to because it's such a... I want it to be relevant to how I feel when I'm playing, you know? And the old ones would be like, oh, that's a teenager song or whatever. That's a guy who doesn't have kids song. Or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I'm probably, I mean, honestly, I haven't done a real honest calculation, but I'd say 200 plus, at least. At least, man. I mean, ask my ex-girlfriends. Dude, they know. They know. But yeah. So it's a blessing and a curse because nobody cares. But you just keep writing these songs and feeling better though. You know, I feel it's like the same the same thing as therapy, you know, because you just once you've written it and it's on a piece of paper or in a track or on a computer, it's like, I'm done with that. Oh, yes. It's like taking a giant crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But emotionally. And it's so nice. It's so rewarding.
You get to unload all of that.
Oh, dude, yeah. And it's painful sometimes to get it out, but then there's this added benefit of like somehow like people that play other instruments like want to play on it. You know what I mean? They're like, ooh, that sounds cool. I got a drum riff for that. You know, I got a bass. It's like, great, man. I'm in pain. It's cool. Let's go make some money.
Thanks for
You know?
noticing, right? Wow.
Yeah, fun times.
Well, it gets back to that because if you're writing based on emotions, personal experiences, and maybe in these situations like you're saying, out of the necessity because it's a new band, it's a new lineup, it's a new part in our life, that can be very different from, thinking, hey, I'm a songwriter, maybe someday somebody will just pay me to write songs.
Yes.
Because then are you in a room every day writing songs, forcibly trying to come up with that formula to satisfy,
Yeah, man, and because your songs
whatever.
are so well crafted and so deep and so like not an afterthought. They're not like, oh, that's done. You know, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I loved about that song you played, "Light Moves." I think is what. You said that. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but it's in the song. And dude, I was like, this needs to be like a Reese Witherspoon movie happening while this song plays and everybody cries in a theater.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? That's what, dude, it was amazing. It was so amazing. And I was like walking away as you started playing it. I was going to go eat a sandwich. I'm the one who ate the rest of that meat, by the way.
Yeah.
It's me, dude. I'm sorry, dude. You know exactly what I'm talking about, too. But I came back to finish the song, and then I went and ate the rest of the meat. But I stayed for Light Moves, dude. It was amazing. And I feel like, so that's why I feel like you understand what I'm saying when it's like bigger, because you couldn't have just thought of that song.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Right. And that was all like kind of autobiographical in terms of, what was going on in my life at that time and the interpersonal relationships that I had and the people, that I was having conversations with and what was going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And so the big kind of angle on that was, the notion of trying to, speak in some universal, form that wouldn't just take that situation isolated to the people that were part of it,
Yes.
And
relevance.
Yeah, that, and so even, being a married guy with a kid, it's like, not that the song was about me in the first place, like, hard for a bird to fly with just one wing type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't necessarily have to be me, but me as a single guy singing that definitely, feels different about that lyric
Yes.
if I'm delivering it depending on, where the thought and
Exactly.
intention is behind it.
Exactly, man. And so you might sing it a little different. That note might squeeze out a different way because you got a little extra juice on it,
Yeah.
Because like the way that whenever you're just truly just like writing a song and you're just sitting in a room and it doesn't, once you've removed all opinion, doesn't matter what anybody thinks, you're just sitting there writing a song and you just do what your body is feeling. Like that note, that's the one that defines the whole song. You know what I mean? It's like that thing that, when you finally, it's almost orgasmic. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you realize I just did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Write it down. Get the tape recorder out, or what tape recorder? I'm only 30, people. Get the recorder out, and make it permanent at that point. Once you get that feeling and like it's all relevant to whatever really happened that day when you were whatever, because life is moment to moment, no matter how you plan it or how you try to live it. It is moment to moment. Because as Donnie Darko tells us, at any moment a plane could fall into your bed while you're sleeping. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
just a reality of life, So you got to realize that the day that you've had has a far greater impact on you than any of your plans or the past. You know what I mean? And like when you write a song, I read the craziest description of music. They were like, if paintings are a way to decorate space, music is a way to decorate time. You know what I mean? And it makes sense because it's a sound way of capturing a moment in time. You know what I mean? Because whatever, more if you're writing, I suppose, like the creation of a song, not just like being at a bar playing a song, but the creation of a song is a snapshot of you in that moment, or the three of you guys in that moment, or however many people are involved in the songwriting process. And that's what I love about like a great song. It's like that guy, like your song. I was like, when I was thinking like I bet he cried before and after that. You know what I mean? And I bet his heart was just broken or uplifted or something amazing that's not normal. You know what I mean? Like that's the only, when you hear a good song, that's what you know. And then when you hear a mediocre song, you're like, oh, they're good at singing. You know what I mean? Or, oh, they're good at guitar or whatever. But when you hear that guy playing the ukulele over the rainbow,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my God, dude, I'm weeping right now. I'm weeping. And I just heard this one guy, one instrument, and you're weeping. Because, and it's honestly, I don't care what anybody thinks, it's magic, dude. It's practice to get there, but once you get there, it's magic, And if you're really good like that dude, or you're one of those guys. I was telling you this before. Joe Ellis and I were talking about this. Like you're just one of those guys that's like you don't have to work up to it. It's like your process isn't like somebody kicking a ball. It's like you've just mastered bringing all the things forth that are necessary to play a song perfectly, like right at the right time and the first time. You know what I mean? Like I need to sit and like what I did here today, sit and play a few songs a few times to get rocking. And I know you're more you play a lot. You know what I mean? But that's part of it. You've chosen to play a lot. And that's why you can not play for 30 minutes before you go. I was there. You didn't play for 30 minutes before you went up and sang your incredible set,
Yeah.
You just went up and did it, and you're like, oh, my amp is being crazy.
Totally blew up. It was
But that's the amazing thing is like you've become one of those and you decided to do it. Eric, like I said earlier, decided. He was like, I'm going to play drums 6 hours a day, whether or not somebody's playing with me or not, you know? And now he's magician level, legend, you know?
Well, and I'd say to that, you know, I mean, yeah, that's a choice, right? You to be completely immersed in it and to have nothing else that you're committed to, you know, like you're saying in your 20s, like what are you going to do, you know, reap the benefits later, that type of thing, right? So even though that there might be some, you know, element of, you know, truth in what you say in terms of just kind of turning it on and whatnot, it has been, you know, it's one of those things that you dedicate all that time and effort to, and still you're coming up against yourself to say, oh, it's not good enough. I just screwed that up. You know, what am I going to do better next time?
Dude.
So it's still like, it's relentless.
It's relentless, dude.
You know,
it's unbelievable, but it's like, so that's kind of like
sometimes it's true though. You know, sometimes you really do
bite
absolutely. It, just like
100%.
Fart, you know.
But like a counter way to look at it, it's like a business investing in itself, though. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you're going to make money, other times you're going to spend money to try to make money, and you're still going to lose it, you know?
And even if you take, like if you compare, so the negativity in your life is the currency that you spend to write good music. Look at it that way, right? Then, you know, if you feel good about your performance, you don't get another song. Maybe that's what an artist is like, you can't feel good, so you keep making new stuff to try to feel good. Because if you feel good, you know, I don't need to make new art. It's difficult. You know what I mean? It's not difficult if you're broken and just oozing things out of you. You know what I mean? Like, then it's not difficult, but everything else is, buddy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that is the blessing and the curse. Like, I cannot have a day. I've never had a day where I was just like happy all day in my entire life. It's just not who I am, you know? And I know a lot of people are that way too, and they're not musicians, but there are a lot of people that are that way. I know them. I've met them. They're my friends, you know? But the way that I choose to, or I don't think it's even a choice, because learning guitar was really easy for me, and it's not for some people. And like writing music was really easy for me, and it's not for some people. And it's not because I'm any more smart or anything, because I'm not. I'm deficient on all planes except for songwriting. You know, that's how I feel. But for some reason I can just do it, and I didn't really have to do much to do it. So I'm gonna do it. That's just what I'm gonna do. And it's like, if you're good at math, you're gonna get paid money. And if you're good at music, you're gonna
starve.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but sometimes you'll have a good night, bro. Sometimes you'll have a better night than anybody has their whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, dude?
I mean, those are the things that you tell your grandkids and whatever, right?
Exactly, dude. Oh, I got a book coming out, guys. No, but that is it though, and once you've felt that like, if you really are that person that feels that pain and needs that outlet, and you feel that validation one day of like somebody being like, oh my God, dude, that song, like, it did it for me tonight. I needed that tonight, you know, thank you for playing that song, whatever it was, you know, like, then you're like, okay, we're on to something here. And you know, that feeling of killing it when you're ripping on stage and people are just like, and it's your music, dude. Do you know what I mean?
Fills you up.
Fills you, you know, right to the top, man.
Yeah. And
then at that point, you're a heroin addict, and there's no going back ever.
I'm a music junkie, right? It's come to be a problem.
Exactly. That's exactly it, bro. You're right. That was an honest statement, and you're right, dude. Me too. It's a real problem, because you're like, oh, I'm going to just move on with my life. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to hate every day because of the choice that you made. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to end up going back, and whatever you tried to put in place outside of that, it's going to fall apart, buddy. You know what I mean?
I do it over for the love of a song.
Exactly.
So says Mr. Tuck Pence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You get that song, And you're like, well, I guess it was all worth it. It's like, don't make any money. Nobody likes me anymore, but I have this song.
I've got this music here. That's.
And you know what the honest truth is, though? The honest truth is you could go sit by yourself on a mountain, excluded from everybody, and it would be enough.
And yeah.
It would be enough.
Yeah.
Because you and this thing that's talking to you that gave you that stuff knows, like, don't worry, bro. They don't get it yet. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get it yet, man. And that's why we're insane.
Yeah.
You know?
It's well, you know, I mean, there are a lot of one-liners in there. You know, every day is a constant battle just to stay between the shores or whatever. You know, Garth Brooks stuff. You know.
That's what it is. That's what it is, though.
Yeah.
This comedian that I follow, Theo Von, he said it. He was like, and I feel like that's a similar kind of art, you know, that comes from pain. I guess all it is, but it's more apparent in comedy sometimes. But he was like, people ask me what drugs I'm on, and I'm like, nothing. It's just me, and it's killing me. You know? And that's it, dude. That is it. When I'm sober, I'm the weirdest person anybody knows. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just so strange, and life is so weird. But it all comes down to, did we make this choice a long time ago, one day in our bedroom? Did we decide this? Or was it chosen for us? I don't know. Because I don't think it's ever going to be like a destiny thing where, like, Dave Grohl lets me play a song with him, you know? Like, I don't think it's going to be like that. But
Fingers crossed, man.
Hey.
That'd be sweet.
Is there anything better? I don't know.
I mean, you know, like, obviously we've surpassed that moment of being like a 8-year-old prodigy drummer
have,
or whatever,
brother.
you know. But he's open to that, right? I mean, those have been some pretty cool moments for those guys.
Those have been great moments, man. Yeah, life changing. You know, it used to be the dream. Now it's the need. You know, that's why I'm doing it. You know, it's not. It used to be the dream, and I said it was the need because that's what girls wanted to hear. You know, no girl wants to hear you say you're playing to get girls. You know, because then it's like, oh, this guy's illegitimate. You know, but now
You're a big phony.
yeah, exactly, dude. You know, it's so funny. There was this. The word study is used a lot these days, but there was a study that came out that said the reason why there's this stigma around women being interested in musicians is because of the prospect of them being successful in the future. Okay? So it's like, that's why it stops working at a certain point.
When you're 38 years old, still living in your mother's basement, playing on the first drum set you ever owned, it might be time to get that
But you're gonna
job
make it,
delivering
bro.
pizzas.
Dude, one time I subbed in for the guy that opened for Bon Jovi, man.
Yeah. Oh, well, then it's true, you know? I mean, at some point, I think that's a common thing, right? For some people, I should say it's maybe a common thing. You hit a certain point in your life. You know, maybe you're married, maybe you get kids, maybe, you know, something happens, you know, and maybe you got to go a different way, and it doesn't do what it did for all that time, you know. How many guys are twice our age still giving her in the same way that you're giving her now?
Yeah.
You know, and some of that's physical, you know, inability, like at that age, potentially, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, Keith
Oh, yeah.
Richards maybe aside, or, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
but
That's my biggest fear, dude. When I was working in the factory, I was like, I define myself as being a musician, and at any moment, one of these pieces of metal could just cut all my fingers off.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that makes it hard to do this too, and choose to do this, is because, like, it's based on your body.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could eat the wrong thing one day and your throat's gone. I don't know if that happens, but it sounds like it could.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You could break your wrists, and dude, Eric got this crazy gash in his hand, like sliced a tendon, you know? And he's a drummer, you know? And obviously he's an insane person, so he like taped a drumstick to his hand and just kept playing like 2 days later.
Oh, man. I mean, that's the level of insanity that you're dealing with.
That is, dude. Dude, that's exactly it.
Insanity, commitment, you know, purpose, driven, you know.
Fulfillment, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
It is.
and wild to think about everything that encompasses.
I'm glad we got to talk about this stuff, because it's like I was gonna ask you, like, why are we like this? You know, we've explored it though without me having to actually say that. Like,
Generally, it happens at the Bertsch Barn on the Midwest Music Hour. It's just things fall into place, and
dude, I love it, man. This is so nice, and I just don't get to. You don't get to talk to. You can't talk to like somebody who's not a musician, like honestly, and get feedback. Like people will listen to you and be like, "Oh, really? Oh, that's how you feel, huh? Oh, I don't feel that way." You know, that's you know. So it's really cool to this extra benefit of getting to have a nice conversation. It's really cool.
thanks, man. You know, and so many times, like we talk about other musicians that we don't get to listen to because we're gigging so hard, and everybody's gigging all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes the gig on stage is not the time to say, this is what the song is about, and this is how I'm feeling, and the music is sort of supposed to speak for you on those levels.
Yes.
So I think it's, you know, from what I've heard and what I tend to experience, this is a really cool thing because it, you know, cathartic in nature, I don't know.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Not something that we really always get a chance to do. You know, sit down with each other and have a conversation and express how we're feeling about what we, you know, played or didn't play, or
yeah, man,
what we're working on and stuff like that. So I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, me
to
too,
be able
man.
to do this again. You know,
Absolutely.
started this, you know, because of the pandemic sort of stuff, because it was that, hey, I'm not making a choice to not do this anymore. The choice has been taken away, and how am I still gonna how am I gonna try to remain on the edge of sanity?
Exactly.
Right? And
Exactly.
it's gonna be to, you know, dive into this.
And you sure did, buddy, and it turned out great, man. Anybody
Thanks.
Like I said, to start off, anybody that comes in here is gonna have a big old smile on their face. That's for sure, and be stoked.
We got to get the walk in, right?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. I should have been taking a selfie video when I walked in here, just for a genuine reaction. But
Oh man.
I gotta pee super bad.
Oh sure.
Should we do that and then another song, or
Yeah,
should we
we'll
call it?
take a little. Yeah.
Give me
let's-
1 minute, dude.
Okay.
I'm an extremely fast peer.
It's a beauteous about being here at the you know, the outdoor Bertsch Barn, right?
Yeah. And now that it's dark, it's a lot easier to pee.
Well, yeah. While you're doing that, I will. I'll just say, hey, everybody out there, you know, thanks for tuning in to tonight's session, and for all the people who have supported the live streams and these efforts. Also want to say thanks for that. There's usually a whole graphic and a list of. Maybe I should mute this. Because he's got his microphone on.
I warned him too.
You warned him too. It's like, take that lapel off, man. No, it's no. The support has really been overwhelming and amazing, and you know, I don't always. Don't always.
be so funny, dude. It's okay if you did.
Yeah, it's all right.
Are you coming back in?
I got it.
Okay. All right. And I'm back.
But anyway, yeah. So thanks to everybody who's ever you know, gone out of their way to support the efforts here. Appreciate it, and couldn't do it without your help. And even if you're just tuning in and checking it out, hopefully you enjoy the music and you learn something about these artists that come through, and hopefully it's relevant or interesting.
Hopefully, that's what we always want, right?
Not always as exciting as a potty break, but
Well, that was relieving if it was anything, man. I'll tell you that.
absolutely. Well, what do you want to do next, song wise?
I don't know. I don't want to end on like my most negative one. So do I have two more maybe? Or?
You can. I mean, it's all you.
Okay.
And you can do as many more as you would like.
Should I just do a chunk of songs?
I mean, if you want to, you want to do like 3, 4 in a row or something like
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Just go into those.
Sure.
And I'm sure people out there who are watching would love that. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are they're at work or something, and they're like, it could just be, you know, instead of the radio, it's this or whatever.
Yeah.
They're driving in a car and they get connected, and
Totally.
you know, so
Dude, that's
so, yeah,
awesome, man.
sometimes
That's so
those
cool.
songs in a row can really be kind of cool for whatever people are doing.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I'll play a few in a row then. This next one is called Someone Nice. Wait, get a little bit of hydration quick. It's the beauty of a wireless, huh?
Yeah, man.
I love it. All right. This song's about being two people at once. I gotta be honest, I'm a fake. I broke every promise I ever made. Sick of living with myself, 'cause nobody knows who I am or what I'm capable of. I'm someone nice, trapped inside somebody else. Just for example, I'll pick a fight just to fight and make an example. Sick of living with myself, 'cause nobody knows who I am or what I'm capable of. I'm someone nice, trapped inside. I'm someone nice, trapped inside. I'm someone nice, trapped inside somebody else. All we have is what we wanted. All we left is what we chose. I will stand by my decisions. No regrets is how it goes. All we have is what we wanted. All we left is what we chose. I will stand by my decisions. No regrets is how it goes. I'm someone nice, trapped inside. I'm someone nice, trapped inside. I'm someone nice, trapped inside somebody else. All right, yeah. So that was Someone Nice. Had a hair in my mouth that whole song, so give it up for me. Do one more in the standard tuning here. Song's called Delilah. I don't know. I don't know how many Bible experts we have out there, but you may be familiar with this story.
Is this the one where the guy got his hair cut?
This is the story of the first haircut, indeed. First biblical recording of a haircut. So, didn't turn out well. I'll just tell you that much. But at least he had a lady, right? All right. You know who you are. Yeah, man.
I think I might be a masochist, but I can't explain how it got so bad. Trying to get over it, but even the best things hurt. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death for so long it ain't strange to be under you. Trying to get over it, even the best things hurt. I am a victim of my remedy. My Delilah saw my secret, and I am blinded by the lust inside me. She told a lie and I believed it. Yes, I did. Here I go. But I can't explain how it got so bad. Trying to get over it, but the best things hurt. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death for so long it ain't strange to be under you. Trying to get over it, but even the best things hurt. I am a victim of my remedy. My Delilah saw my secret. I am blinded by the lust inside me. She told a lie and I believed it. Yeah. She told a lie and I believed it. Awesome. So that was Delilah. Got one more here. Two more. Just tune down to this. Gotta try to find the brown note here. Alright, anybody pooping? There.
This is drop D.
That'd be drop D, yeah.
In terms of alter tuning explorations,
Yeah.
is that as far as you extend those, or you get really deep into them?
No, I use drop D to write heavier stuff so I can riff harder with like a full chord sound. That's the only reason. Just so I can, like this, the next two songs I'm gonna play are from my rock and, I mean, I don't know. Indigenous was rock and roll, but this is, it's not metal because I don't scream really, but I yell, I don't know. Heavier band, I guess. I hate all those words. I hate using any of those words because somebody's gonna get mad, but especially Jason Sikora. But it's, I guess, heavier, but it's just less chord based. I wanted to get away from chords and go towards riffs as like the center of like what a song is based around. and then just like hit chords on a chorus for hook value, you know? So my
Sure.
thought process was just try to do things that don't sound right, like kind of sound devilly. Because like this band, we sing about weird murder stuff and like, it's crazy. Come see us if you want to take a risk. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, neither of these songs I'm going to play are about murder. None of the songs we wrote are about me murdering someone. So it's just about the topic. I've already talked about murder too much. So, but this next one is about what you learn as things end, and an assessment of the quantitative value of what I learned from one person specifically. So, song's called So Little. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thought it would be longer, you thought it would be harder, you thought you had control, you thought it would be hotter, you thought there would be water. Well, now you know. You taught me everything that there was to know about knowing nothing at all. And I learned so much about so little. Thought it would be longer, you thought we would be stronger. That's not the way that the desert rolls. You penetrated me, I penetrated you, and now our souls are free and our body dead. You taught me everything that there was to know about knowing nothing at all. And I learned so much about so little. You got the touch, oh, I got the rhythm. Thought it would be harder, you thought there would be water. Well, now you know. Oh, yeah. You taught me everything that there was to know about knowing nothing at all. And I learned so much about so little. You got the touch, I got the rhythm. Cut me into pieces till I'm brave, yeah. much. That was So Little by my band Narcissist. If you're ever feeling selfish and you want to check us out. All right, I've got one more I'm going to play. I think I should probably tune up for it. This one's on Spotify, as is the first one I played, I'll Be Fine.
Yeah, when we talk about people finding your stuff
Yeah.
online, we've got a link in the description to your Facebook page,
Yep.
Caleb Delaney Music.
Yes, and there, I should have some form of connection from there to my Spotify and stuff, but you can also just go straight Spotify or Apple Music or any of those. Yeah.
You still got a SoundCloud and a Bandcamp for like Indigibliss?
Yeah, Indigibliss is also on Spotify, as is Narcissus.
Okay.
So, Narcissus is GNARCISSUS. The great Marty Chayka recorded our album. So, as you know,
Yeah.
it sounds incredible.
Fantastic.
Regardless of how we did, it sounds incredible. Then Indigibliss has some great music on there. Our gym sessions that we did during the pandemic are on there, as well as Feed the Dog and all those other bands that were involved. It's all tagged on our Spotifys. And then also myself, I'm on there, Caleb Delaney Music. And I record and produce all that stuff myself. That's why it's a little different than the other things. But the song's on there. It's called Understand. And I wrote it for a friend because I was affected by how bad his relationship was. So I wrote him a song because I was feeling empathetic, and he enjoyed it. So that's the story.
Right on. Well, let me say again, thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you for sharing and everything.
Of course,
Appreciate
Scott, I
it.
love you, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. It's been a real blast. It's pretty high pressure point to put on this being the closing of the thing. But you know what? I love you. It's all love. And here we go. This song's called Understand. Hit me one more time, babe, before I defend myself. I'm not looking for a cure, I just need some help. If you understood, you wouldn't be asking if I am good. You know, I'm just masking to cover up another one of my bad days. Let's continue on for the sake of what we've done. Memories of sleep, dreams of possibilities. If you understood, you wouldn't be asking if I am good. You know that I'm masking to cover up another one of my bad days. If you understood, you wouldn't be asking if I am good. You know that I'm masking to cover up another one of my bad days. All I ever wanted was something in return. And all I ever
return. Understood you wouldn't be asking if I am good. You know that I'm asking to cover up another one of my bad days. If you understood you wouldn't be asking if I am good. You know that I'm asking to cover up another one of my bad days.
Caleb Delaney, thank you, man. This has been a real treat to have you here at the Bertsch Barn tonight, live on the
Thanks,
Midwest
Scott.
Music Hour.
Thank you, Scott.
Gigs are kind of wild in terms of
Yeah.
few and far between to begin with. You got anything on the books where somebody out there's going to be able to come and see if they're able to?
Yeah, my band is playing a couple times the next couple months. Solo, I don't really have anything booked. Things pop up more for me. It'll be like, oh, you want to play this week or whatever, kind of like this, you know. So, but I always post as soon as I know on my Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, Instagram seems to like share to more people whenever I post on there. So that'd be a good spot. But yeah, so there you go. There you have it. That's the down low.
Awesome, sweet. Well, people are interested in having you for a private party or something like that, small gatherings. I'm sure you do that as well. And,
Absolutely, and I have a band that plays all this stuff with me. So if you don't want the metal band, I have a bunch of hitmen that are just professional musicians that come and make this stuff a party. So if you do want to get a little crazy, hire the Caleb Delaney Music Experience, and we'll make a night for you. How about that?
Awesome, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and thanks again for being here.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you out there for tuning in to the Midwest Music Hour, and thanks for supporting the artists. Really couldn't do it without you. Y'all be good out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other, and we'll see you again real soon, guys. Thanks so much.
We did it.
Soon tight.
You're holding that.